Balita Ngayon.
A very good afternoon to everyone, dear ladies and gentlemen, our friends from the press. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us at this important gathering as we observe Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Before I say anything further, I'd also like to acknowledge the partnership which we've crafted here with the Philippine Cancer Society and Dr. Rachel Rosario. Thank you so much for being a part of this event. During the entire month of November, global efforts are highlighting the burden, risk factors, prevention and proper treatment of lung cancer. In 2020, about 2.2 million diagnoses were reported. Lung cancer remains to be the most common cause of cancer-related mortality worldwide, with nearly 1.8 million deaths in 2020. Majority of the cases and deaths occur in Asia, followed by Europe. Treating patients suffering from lung cancer is challenging, especially because it involves late diagnosis, which in turn often leads to high mortality rates. Although the recent years have welcomed revolutionary changes in the management of lung cancer, there is still nothing better than emphasizing the importance of prevention. Through this forum, we hope to provide our friends in the media and with the help of PCS, a fruitful learning experience so that we can continue to strengthen all efforts to increase awareness on lung cancer, including its prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Let's make Lung Cancer Awareness Month matter, not only every November, but the entire year around.
Thank you, Mr. Harman Betty. The scientific program now begins with an introduction of our first distinguished speaker by Dr. Pauline Ann Peronilla Carlton, moderator for this session. Dr. Peronilla Carlton is a medical oncologist whose special interest is in palliative and supportive care. She is a fellow of the Philippine Society of Medical Oncology and the Philippine College of Physicians. At the Cardinal Santos Medical Center, she is a doctor champion of the Cancer Registry or CARE Philippines, member of both the Institutional Ethics Review Board and the Palliative Care and Hospital Unit Core Team of Physicians, as well as advisor for the Cancer Patients Group. In 2018, she received the International Development and Education Award in Palliative Care from the American Society of Clinical Oncology. Please welcome Dr. Pauline Ann Peronilla Carlton.
Good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to be with everyone this afternoon. And we're hoping that whatever brought you here in this time, in this place, to be at this session, we hope that by the end, you will have a better a better picture of what cancer is and all the many things that we are doing that we can do about it. Especially now, during the Lung Cancer Awareness Week, it's the perfect time to have our distinguished speakers to share with us the fundamentals of this serious but very relevant disease, including its signs, symptoms, screening, and treatment. So firstly, we have with us today Dr. Christine Chavez. Okay, so Dr. Chavez is a specialist in clinical and interventional pulmonology. She is a consultant and training officer for fellowship at the Medical City Hospital section of pulmonology. Dr. Chavez is also affiliated with Cardinal Santos Medical Center, and her professional memberships include the World Association for Bronchology and Interventional Pulmonology, the European Respiratory Society, and the Philippine Medical Association. She is a diplomate and fellow of the Philippine College of Chest Physicians as well as the Philippine College of Physicians. So let's kick off this afternoon session with the presentation of Dr. Christine Chavez, Lung Cancer 101, Signs, Symptoms, and Screening.
Good afternoon to our audience, the members of the press, and of course our target audience, our patients. Thank you to AstraZeneca and the Philippine Cancer Society for this privilege to share our advocacy on decreasing the mortality from lung cancer. So I was asked today to describe the signs and symptoms of lung cancer and what is the screening tool to diagnose or detect lung cancer early. So, as mentioned a while ago, globally, lung cancer is second to breast as the most common cancer. It is second to breast. But, as a cause of cancer death, lung is the top cause of death among all cancers. In the Philippines, this is also the case. Lung is the most common cancer with 19,000 new cases in 2020, but is the top cause of death from lung cancers among all cancers, with approximately 17,000 of people dying from the disease. So we cannot underscore the fact that lung cancer is a deadly disease, especially when it's diagnosed at the late stages. You can see here that in a study on the number of patients within 5 years, so these are the number of people who were diagnosed to have lung cancer, among everyone who were diagnosed to have lung cancer, only 22.9, the green ones, were able to survive within 5 years after cancer diagnosis. Why is this the case? Because a majority of the cases at present are diagnosed at the late stage already of the disease. So if you can see here, 55% of all patients who are diagnosed to have cancer are already in the advanced stage of the disease, and only few were diagnosed in the early stage. The early stage being the stage where we can do more and we can control or possibly cure lung cancer better. So here, you can see that the percentage of patients who survive within 5 years is really low if the cancer has already spread compared with patients who have lung cancer that are only localized. So what causes lung cancer? Smoking remains the most common cause of lung cancer. But it is still also important to know that over 50% of women and some percentage of men can develop lung cancer even without the risk of having ever smoked. So anyone with lungs can be at risk for lung cancer. Why is that so? Because there are also factors such as secondhand smoke exposure, indoor and outdoor air pollution, the pollution that we get from combustion of engines, and inside the house when in individuals who use biomass fuels for cooking. If you have a family member who has a history of lung or any cancer, and exposure to certain chemicals or pollution in the workplace, such as coal fumes, radon gas, asbestos, which is found in cement, or silica. So these are the risk factors. Smoking cigarettes is the most common risk factor, but these are also the common risk factors for developing lung cancer. So what are the common signs of lung cancer? Usually, when the cancer has already spread or is already increasing in size, there is persistent or worsening cough. Some patients cough up blood or rust-colored sputum or phlegm. There may be chest pain that persons with coughing. There may be persistent or recurring lung infections such as bronchitis or pneumonia. There may be hoarseness or loss of voice without any sore throat, breathlessness or wheezing sound, weight loss that is unintentional or unexplained, loss of appetite, and fatigue. So these are usually the common symptoms of lung cancer. However, I would like to emphasize that these symptoms that I mentioned are usually manifestations of late-stage cancer. In the early stage of lung cancer, there are usually no symptoms. So, how do we go about that? Kung walang symptoms, paano natin ma-detect? We look at the risk factors. So usually, lung cancer, in the previous years, we used to do chest x-rays to detect lung cancer. However, there are most of the beginning lung cancer cases cannot be detected on x-ray alone. So there were studies that were done that compared x-ray and low-dose computed tomography scan in detecting lung cancer. Because for a screening tool, like for example, in breast cancer and colon cancer, we already know the tests to do to screen for those cancers, right? Mammography for breast and colonoscopy for colon. So for a screening tool to become effective, or for a diagnostic test to be recommended as a screening tool, it has to be proven to decrease the number of people who die from the disease. So in studies that have compared X-ray and low-dose chest CT scan, it was found that low-dose computed tomography or CT scan, low-dose CT scan, is the tool that decreased the number of people who died from lung cancer. So compared with a regular full-dose chest CT scan, low-dose chest CT scan has over 5 times lower amount of radiation emitted. This is hugely important, especially for individuals who have high risk factors for the disease or for lung cancer. This is what I was describing a while ago. Can you see this area? So this is an example of one patient that we've handled who had early stage lung cancer. The patient had risk factors, and on low-dose CT scan, we found this abnormality on the lungs. This abnormality cannot be seen on X-ray. But when we screened using low-dose chest CT scan, we were able to detect this. And eventually, the patient underwent surgery and has survived for a long time. So these were the studies that I mentioned a while ago. So both these studies showed that screening of high-risk individuals using low-dose chest CT scan decreased the number of people who died from lung cancer by 20 to 24%. So that is a significant amount, considering that lung cancer may be deadly in the late stage of the disease. So I mentioned about high-risk individuals and also the risk factors for lung cancer. So among the risk factors that I mentioned, these were the risk factors that were proven to be the eligibility criteria for low-dose chest CT scan. So in healthy individuals aged 50 to 75 years, with a heavy smoking history, heavy smoking, which is defined as smoking more than 15 cigarettes a day for more than 25 years, or more than 10 cigarettes a day for more than 30 years. If the individual has quit, that is good. But if the quit time is less than 10 years, they'll recommend to have low-dose chest CT screening done. Another factor is, of course, decreasing the risk. Among the risk factors that I mentioned a while ago, there are unmodifiable, such as the genetic predisposition, your occupation exposure, but there are also risk factors that you can modify, which is the good thing is the most common cause of lung cancer, which is smoking, is a modifiable risk factor. So decreasing your risk for lung cancer is the key. Not having the disease is the key. But if you feel, or if you have a family friend, you have a family member or a friend who may be at high risk, then it is recommended to undergo screening so we can catch it early. So in summary, lung cancer is the second most common cancer and is the top cause of cancer death globally and in the Philippines. Majority are diagnosed in the advanced stage, which has a poor survival. Smoking is the most important risk factors, but non-smokers can also develop lung cancer. Hopefully in the future, you will be able to find out which of those non-smoking risk factors may be included in the eligibility criteria for low-dose chest CT scan. Therefore, we would like to underscore that early diagnosis is key. Be aware of the signs and symptoms, and also know and lessen your risk factors. Lung cancer screening by low-dose chest CT scan can save lives, especially in high-risk individuals. So if you are at risk, get screened. Or if you know anyone, your family or your friends who may be at risk, advise them to get screened. Modify and lessen your risk factors. Thank you. If you have questions, I'm open to questions later, or you can get in touch with us through the number flashed on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chavez, for breaking down for us the basics of screening and detection of lung cancer. Now, once detected, once diagnosed, what comes next? Like that old 80s cartoon taught us, not knowing is just half the battle. So for that, we have Dr. Soledad Balete to guide us through the principles of lung cancer treatment. Dr. Balete is a former executive officer at UPPGH, Department of Medicine. She is also a consultant at the Metropolitan Medical Center and Chinese General Hospital. She's head of several departments at Jose Reyes Medical Center. She's the head of the section of medical oncology, of the Hospital Multidisciplinary Tumor Board, of the Credentials Committee of the Department of Internal Medicine, as well as the Performance Governance System and Best Practice Sharing and Multi-Sectoral Governance Council. And she's also part of the Multi-Sector Governance Council Committee. So we are very lucky that she has made time to be with us this afternoon. So let's all welcome Dr. Soledad Balete.
Good afternoon to all. So, welcome to coming here to have this lung cancer forum in relation to the Lung Cancer Awareness Month. I'm happy to see my friend there, Dr. Rachel. So, we will keep this simple. So, a while ago, Dr. Chavez has told us that the number one cancer killer, and even in the US, the one she showed is Philippines and US. The number one killer is lung cancer. So that is really very striking to know how important it is to be aware for lung cancer. about the importance of this illness. Now, a while ago, also, Dr. Chavez mentioned the symptoms of lung cancer. So whenever the symptom occur, you have to be vigilant and be on top and know that the symptoms are there. So as she mentioned, the patient has either a smoking history or a second-hand smoke. So a second-hand smoke means someone is smoking and you are there. So it's just equivalent to say that you're also smoking in a way. So then the patient will manifest cough, and then coughing out blood. Sometimes when you cough, there is blood. And you will also, at times, you will feel that your voice, if you're a singer, now you are no longer a good singer because your voice becomes hoarse. And then wheezing, like you're having some form of hiccup this time. Then you suddenly feel na your weight is already decreased, your weight becomes thinner. Before mataba, now you're already payat. For no reason at all, meaning you're eating well, pero you're losing your weight. Difficulty in swallowing, sometimes you feel something is there to block your food, and then you need to have yourself be seen by a doctor. Basically, when you see a doctor, they will do X-ray. Chest X-ray is what they do at first to see. Then the doctor will advise you if you need a CT scan. Kung sometimes they don't see a mass, but they are thinking something is there, they will request a CT scan. So early detection for lung cancer is important because it will save your life. As mentioned a while ago by our speaker, mostly the lung cancer, when the symptom appear, then the stage is already advanced. So around 20% will come as early. 20 means kung may 10 patient, 2 will be early, 8 of them will be, tama ba? Yeah, 8 of them, 20%, in 10. So 8 of them will become advanced, meaning it's really high. So the best thing is really to avoid those risk factors. Kasi once the lung cancer is there, the symptom will appear, the stage is already advanced when it is discovered. So here it is also like the CT scan showed. This is a CT scan view. The white on the right side, on your side, on right side is a mass that you're seeing. Also there on the left side, on my side, and left side on my side, on your side, left from your side. So in this situation, usually a needle is inserted like a hiringilya, so that the lesion will be pierced through, dadaan, so that a biopsy can be taken. That is what we call a CT guided. There's a CT scan that will guide to make sure that they will hit the right one, not the other one that is black, but the white with a circle. So as we can see, this is showing to us that the lung cancer treatment over the years, not pababa, it's going up, meaning improving as time goes and as years come, more options are being given to us. So that the surviving years, when I was in training, mga less than 5 lang. So that was mga 25 years ago when I was a student in cancer medicine. But now, it's already 22.9 and still rising over the years. No? So very good kasi we have more options. So 22.9 is around, shall we say, 25%. So that's good from the time that it was less than 5. So you can also see before, yung early part, nung mga years back, 1890, the only option was radiotherapy. When a patient is diagnosed with lung cancer, sasabihin wala na, radiotherapy ka lang. So, and then as time goes, the radiotherapy naman, the patient is being offered surgery, meaning option of surgery. But the problem of surgery, as I have said, it can only be really applicable to the early stage. And as I said a while ago, many of the lung cancer are of the advanced stage when they present with symptoms. Then aside from the surgery, we have the traditional chemotherapy. Kasi sometimes when patients come, they will say, when I see a doctor, an oncologist, they can say nothing except chemotherapy. But nowadays, it's not like that anymore. We have more options, no? As the projection is going up, more options are coming. So 1998 to present, we have the precision therapy, what we call the targeted, which we will describe shortly after this. Then also, as years come, 1997 to now, immunotherapy naman. So we will go into it one by one. So surgery, as you know, is being done by a thoracocardiovascular surgeon, not us, no? So the surgeon do the surgery in order to remove, tatanggalin the mass. The goal is to remove the cancer from the body and along with some normal looking tissue. So removing the mass and the surrounding normal tissue, the normal tissue is called the surgical margin. So this is applicable sa early stage lung cancer, wherein surgery can be done so that the mass is removed. Once removed, then the mass is no longer there in that spot, the yellow one there. Then aside from the surgery that was mentioned is radiotherapy. So both surgery and radiotherapy are what we call local. They are both local therapy. Ibig sabihin ng local, you can imagine you get a flashlight and focus that on your, let's say, on your face or your body. That's local. May local application, no? Imagination of a flashlight, putting it wherever you want, so that's local. Then this is administered by a radiation oncologist, not a medical oncologist. This uses high energy X-ray to treat lung cancer. So, and it damages cancer cell, and the cancer cell either die or stop from making new cancer cell. So the radiation is very strong enough to kill the cell even down to the DNA, yung mga gene niya. It can also kill down to the DNA. It is often delivered by a large machine as shown here, and the X-ray, the radiation go through the skin, so that the sa skin and go to the tumor. No, have you seen a laser? When you have seen a laser, if you're playing with a laser, you can imagine how precise and how deep the penetration, no? Something like that. And then the healthy tissue is protected using some shield in order to just hit the cancer cell. Now, chemotherapy, I know you have somehow you have relatives na nagkaroon na ng mga treatment, so it's just like putting a suero over the vein, or sometimes the suero is put here using the portacat. So chemotherapy is turned to cover the drugs that kill the rapidly dividing cells, meaning when the cells are active. So the chemotherapy is very good in killing the cancer cells. So the patient will need to go to a treatment facility to be able to receive chemotherapy. So, ano yung treatment facility? Normally, in mga hospital, we have treatment facilities for cancer treatment. And the chemotherapy like that, the patient is seated and with a suero, the chemotherapy is injected into your vein, and this is called infusion. Then the drug will travel to the blood, to the entire body. It will go to your blood, the whole body. So meaning, the one I mentioned a while ago, surgery and radiotherapy is just like putting a flashlight, diba, local. But here, the drug will travel. So that's why it can cover what we call the micrometastasis, the things that you cannot see. Yung somewhere there that you do not know. So chemotherapy will cover that. Now, next to this is we have the so the precision or targeted therapy. So yung targeted therapy belongs to the newer innovation na. So this works by influencing the process that control the growth, division of cancer cell, as well as the signal that cause the cancer cell to die naturally. They selectively target cancer cell with specific mutation. They are more effective and has less side effect than chemotherapy. So the targeted therapy is like parang a husband looking for a wife, di ba? So the husband would choose the best target, meaning he doesn't choose any woman. So sabi niya, this will be my wife. So he will target the person, or this one, the medicine will target the cancer cell using the target that the medicine will act upon. So very specific yung target niya. So what is the target? Kasi when you target the part, there is so-called the downstream, meaning may trigger. So when you target, parang if you want to target the head, para there will be no more influence down to it, para tumigil siya, then you have to target that part that will cause the so-called signal, downstream signal, meaning pag huhuli ka ng masamang tao, what you will do, you have to make huli the bad person, di ba, the leader. And then the other members they will be, kakagulo because the leader is already black. Di ba? So parang yan parang mga bad dun sa mga war, di ba? If you want to stop the war, you have to catch the target, the person who leads the war. So, parang ganon, no? You have to be precise in knowing who is the bad person here, who is the bad cell, who is the leader of the bad cell. So, you want to target the leader. And then, you will make sure once you target the leader, the other apo-apo and the other the bad people, the bad cells down there will obey because the leader is already trapped. Something like that. No? So usually the targeted, nowadays we have the oral. That's why the picture there is a tablet. We have the oral. So the patients, when you see that the patient, usually you check the specimen. Can this patient be applied with this target? Is there something that I can target? If there is none, there's no use that I would target. But if there is something that I can target, pwede ko i-target, I will give this medicine that will target this one that I will target. And then, once you target the targetable, what we mean yung pwede ko i-target, makikilid siya. And then, the cells will stop multiplying. Kasi you already touched the bad one. Who is the leader, no? who tell the other members na you stop already because I'm already trapped. No? So there is a specific target. And because of this advent, nowadays, the patients, they would prefer really the oral. Kasi nga, convenience, ganyan. Pero just a caution, not all patients with lung cancer, they can be given target. Before you give the targeted drug, there is some tests that we need to do in order to see kung the patient can receive the target. Meaning, is there something that we can target? If none, if we do not know where is the leader, or what is the name of the target, then there's no use that we will target. So we have to know that by testing the specimen or the target. No? Now, for the next treatment, that is what we call the immunotherapy. This is the difference of chemotherapy versus targeted. So, yung chemotherapy sinasabi ko are those before when the patient has lung cancer, what we offer chemo o chemo, but now we have targeted na. Now, for chemotherapy, it acts by damaging rapidly dividing cells, yung mga active cells. That's why they have more side effects. What are the side effects that you know? Loss of hair, no? Or sometimes the patient feel weak, the blood cell, the red cell, the white cell goes down, infection, admission, ganyan, no? But with the advent of targeted treatment, this is unique to cancer cell. So this medicine will cause the disruption of the pathway. Kumbaga, yung downstream signaling, yung downstream utos niya, pababa na, pag trap na siya, no more utos na sa pababa na, you have to notify. Then, this is unique to cancer cell, which is absent in normal cell. Yung being bad influence niya is only seen in the cancer cell. But in the normal cell, mabait eh. So, mabait siya, walang ganun. Then, generally, they have milder side effect. The tablet that we're mentioning has mild side effect. Usually, mga rashes or some form of diarrhea. But, relatively speaking, this is also a little bit a cost. Cost is also a concern, but although we have certain program now wherein programs are offered in order to help the patient. Now, next is the immunotherapy. I think the immunotherapy part becomes very clear to you during the COVID time. When you heard about ano yung immunotherapy sa COVID, tocilizumab. No, I'm not laughing, but it's just to make things clearer. So the immunotherapy works by, remember that the body's defense against disease is called the immune system. Yung panlaban natin sa ating mga condition or sakit, anong tawag? Immune system natin, panlaban. Soldiers of the body. So the soldiers of the body are T cells. The T cells are the soldier, which are the key part of the system. So the soldiers, the T cells that kill infected and cancer cell, that the soldier will kill the cancer cell, they are called the killer T cells. Then immunotherapy is a treatment that uses the immune system to kill the cancer cell. The immune checkpoint inhibitor are a type of immunotherapy. They work by releasing the brake pedals on the T cells. So what cancer do is that they will utos the soldier of our body, which are called the T cell. So the T cells, who are the soldiers of our body, are already not functioning as a soldier. Now, so when we have the immunotherapy, they will help the cancer cells that stop the T cell, saying T cell don't work. So with the immunotherapy, they will help the T cell. They will help the T cell, they will help the immune system, so that the T cell, the soldier of our body, can go back to normal. So that they can function. Kasi ang function ng T cell is the soldier cell that provides our immune system. So napipilayan sila kasi masama si cancer cell. So since they are no longer working well, then the immunotherapy there is to help the immune system. Kasi may mga inhibitor yung cancer cell doon. So for the body not to function well sa immune system. So we have the immune checkpoint inhibitor are a type of immunotherapy that will release the brake pedals on the T cell. At tanggalin nila yung mga nag-hinder sa T cell na mag-function normally. So sila yung tutulong para si T cell, yung soldier cell, will function to its function to serve as the soldier of our body. So do you understand? So that's through the, it's through the suero. It's through the, just like parang chemotherapy, it's given through the IV. So, as we move along, we are saying that in managing cancer, lung cancer, we employ what we call multidisciplinary. Sometimes when my patient asks me, why is it that I have many doctors seeing me? So I said, if you are a patient and you have many doctors seeing you, you're in the right track. Because this is what we call multidisciplinary. Ibig sabihin, nagtutulong yung mga, nandun yung lung doctor, there's the radiation who does the radiotherapy, radiation oncologist, the surgeon, the chemotherapy, medical oncologist. They talk and then they discuss how and what we will do to our patient. You're not being just managed by one doctor kasi they talk, they discuss for the benefit of the patient. So that you can employ kung you want radiotherapy ba, surgery, chemotherapy, immunotherapy. So that's why discussion is being undertaken. That is what we call a multidisciplinary team effort. So in summary, the recent trend, yung mga bagong mga offers ngayon na treatment, shows improvement. These are the reasons for the improvement in the survival of lung cancer due to the advancement. No, not just chemotherapy, not just surgery. And we have now 5 that we discussed treatment option in our lung cancer patient. And we have, as mentioned a while ago, surgery. We have mentioned radiotherapy. It's a local treatment, just like surgery. Chemotherapy, it is putting a suero and then the medicine will go to the blood so that it can act to the whole body. It can go to the whole body of the patient. The targeted, it will be targeting the patient's, sabi ko nga, the blood bleeder. And then, but there is a need to test the specimen if there is something that you can target before we give the target. And immunotherapy, as I said, is just like the one used by the COVID time, wherein we give immunotherapy like tocilizumab, so that we can help our immune system to function normally. Otherwise, our immune system are impaired. Hindi na sila gumagana the usual way. So you need to give immunotherapy to help your T cell. So that the T cell will not be, sabi nga, may break siya, may break pedal yung T cell because of the cancer. So, so that rather there should be a brake pedal to stop the cancer cell from stopping the T cell to take its action, to become a soldier of the body. So hindi na siya soldier kasi cancer cell will make him useless. Pero kailangan with the immunotherapy, it will serve as the brake pedal of the T cell. So the treating lung cancer involves team of doctor specialists, yung na-mention natin, multidisciplinary team effort to provide best option for the lung cancer patient. So that's why if you have a patient, a relative who see not just one doctor, you should not be saying or thinking na the doctor maybe doesn't know, but actually it's the right way to manage the patient by the multidisciplinary team. So I prepared a quick question lang, kasi quick lang. Yan. So para raise hand lang. If you never smoke, you don't need to worry about lung cancer. True, false?
True.
Oo, kasi based on our first discussion, even non-smoker, di ba, they can also get lung cancer. Yung mga non-smoker. And even yung mga passive smoker, yung mga nakaupo ka, pero yung husband mo, grabe, no? Grabe mag-smoke. So, pwede rin. 6 question lang po. There is nothing people can do to lower their chance of getting lung cancer. Pag sinabi bang, ay, smoker naman ako, so sige, smoke na lang. So, meaning, nothing we can do ba to lower their chance? True, false? Medyo negative yung question, no? There is nothing daw we can do to lower their chance of getting lung cancer. False, true? False. Ang galing yun. False. Kasi we can do something. For most, if you're a smoker, you have to quit smoking. Right? So, or anything that cause you to have increase your risk of lung cancer. For people who smoke, much of the lung damage can lead to cancer, can be repaired if they quit smoking. If they quit smoking, can the repair be true or false? True false. Pag nag-smoke ka, may mga damage na yan, so wala na. So, I can smoke, or I would decide to stop. Siyempre, hopeful thinking or positive thinking. When the patient stops, for most, in 2 to 3 months, you would see improvement in the circulation of the blood. Kasi the smoking itself can cause our blood to thicken. No? So the circulation will improve. In 10 years that the patient would stop smoking, let's say 10 years, the risk would be decreased by 50%. And if there are symptoms like naghihingal-hingal siya, there is around 10 months, the patient's symptoms will improve. So there is hope. No? When the patient decides to quit the trigger or the risk factor, there is hope that the lung somehow will repair. There is hope that this symptom will improve, so there is repair in the lung. No? So, therefore, those who are smoking, you have still hope not to continue smoking. So, replacing cigarette with the spit tobacco or snuff is safe way. Kumbaga, okay na ako. Replace the, what you call that? I don't know the name. Oh, yung vaping. I know it's letter R. So it's letter R. So, is it, replace? Okay na, replace? Yes, no. Sino yung mga pro-vaping, anti-vaping? So, actually, it does not assure us that it is a safe way. In fact, if you do that, there's also increase in the chance of what we call the upper airway malignancy. Yung tinatawag na either dito na sa throat or sa lung, or not lung, or somewhere here na, the head and neck, what we call the head and neck malignancy. The throat, the mouth, the pharynx, ganon. So there is an increase in the malignancy in that part. Kasi nga, where does the snapping goes? It is where it goes, no? Lung cancer is one of the deadliest cancer. Of course, first speaker. True, false? True. Siyempre true. Hindi, no lung cancer awareness month. Lung cancer often does not cause problem until it is too late. True, false? Meaning, my symptom it's usually not the early stage. True, false? Huh? True. True. Okay. So, I hope you understand or get some points from our discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Valete. You can tell that Dr. is really an educator, right? Pa-quiz ka. But not only that, she successfully took on the challenge of summarizing the treatment advances of lung cancer. So because there's so much more to cancer than just the medical side of things, it also is important for us to talk about what happens in all the other aspects of the human experience. So we are also very privileged today to be listening to a lady who will talk to us about her own journey with lung cancer. Our special guest is Ms. Nelia Batage, and she will share with us her experience and insights about living with the disease. Let's all give her a warm welcome.
Lalo sa Philippines. August 19, wala naman po akong naramdaman. Nakaiba ako dito. Sa gabi lang po ako inuubon ko kung sa araw. Nagagawa ko yung dating trabaho ko. Mag-iwas, magluto, mamakiti. Pero sa gabi, nakakaubos ako ng isang box ng tissue. Ang inuubon ko. Krema na wala. Puti lang. Puti. Episode na 2 gabi na masakit ang dito ko, parang may nakatagal na bato na malaki. Natakot ako. So, after 2 days, after 2 nights, nagpunta ako sa cardiologist. Binigyan ako ng Barsatrel tablet. In-advise ako magpa-x-ray. Nung lumabas yung result, wala yung ating cardio sa ating nerve sa OPD. So, dinala ko sa satellite clinic ng Medical City. Sabi nung cardiologist, nung binasa niya yung result, pina-x-ray niya ay pina-lung ultrasound niya for right away. Nang marinig niya yung lungs ko, right away sabi niya magpapalang ultrasound ka. Ngayon na. Bisig ko, may pera ba ako? Dok, baka mahal. Hindi, kaya mo yan. So, nagpunta po ako, nag-x-ray ako. Tapos, binigyan rin ako ng sulat para sa cardio sa Makati meron. At sa pulmonologist na meron akong fluid sa lungs. Na hindi ko alam paano nangyari kasi wala naman po ako nararamdaman. Hindi ako nilagnat, hindi ako sinipon, hindi ako inuubo sa araw. Usual, nakakagdagad ako. Nung makita nila yung result sa Makati 2 days pa bago ako nag-meet. Kasi charity case ako. After nung pagkapasok ko, the same day, the same hour, dumating na yung grupo ng pulmonologist, tinusok na ako dito sa likod. Kasi ang sabi dun sa unang result ko, 9.36 ang fluid sa lungs ko. Pero that day, nung urin kayo, nakakuha sila ng 1.2 liter na mapula. Hindi siya daw, mapula. So, nung gabi na yun, nasitiskan ako. Pinabukan sa laboratory ako. Pinaulinan ko ako. Nakita doon sa CT scan ng lungs ko, mayroong nodules na maliit sa lungs. Pero benign. Nakikita sila ng malignant cells doon sa fluid. Tapos, sinunan nila ako ng bronchoscopy, ba tawag doon? Bronchoscopy ako. Benign daw po yung nasa lungs ko. Doon lang sa fluid ako may malignant cells. So, advice nila sa akin, parang yan silang tawag doon sa isang scan ko. Hindi ko alam yung tutisukin yung lungs ko para makakuha na si biopsy ulit. Hindi ko po kaya 110,000. Siguro sa katulad ng mga senior, ako walang pension, maasa lang sa anak, hindi ko kakayanin yung 110,000. So, ang advice ng pulmonologist, magpa-chemotherapy na lang. So, nananap ako ng way, saan ako makakakuha. Nagpunta ako sa CRES Medical Center kay Dr. Tanlapan. Ang approach niya sa akin is, bibigyan niya akong libreng Latin, pero babayaran ko yung isang gamot ng 10,000 every kilo. Saan ko naman kukunin yung every 21 days na 10,000? Kaya siguro nga maraming namamatay, maraming hindi makapagpagam sa mahal. In-advise niya ako, bibigyan niya ako na referral sa isang medrep. Kaya kung ano sabihin niyo sa akin, hindi ko kakayanin ng 10,000 every 21 days. So, pina-GFR, EGFR niya ako sa Chinese Medical Center. So, negative. Nagpa-full abdomen, CT scan ako, negative. Nagpa-full abdomen CT scan, negative din po. So ngayon, nagki-chemotherapy ako sa tulong na lang ng iba't ibang kaibigan kung kanino ang mga kalapit. Dahil every week, kailangan meron akong 10 to 12,000. Hindi ko naman po pwedeng hingin sa anak ko dahil may pamilya din siya. Ayoko naman mag-suffer yung pagsasama nila mag-asawa dahil sa akin. So I try my best na lang marami naman sa kaibigan, sa makilala na malalapitan. Sa kanila po ako may ng tulong. Hindi naman po sila nagsasawang tumulong. Dahil nung kalakasan ko naman po, may trabaho naman ako, nakikitera ko. Kaya lang siguro yung sobrang pagod, ligo kahit pagod. Doon ko rin po siguro nakuha ito. Dahil hindi po ako nagsisigarilyo, hindi po ako umiinom, wala akong bisyo. Kundi magluto, kumain. Pero bakit po ako nagkaroon ng ganito? Nung unang sabihin sa akin na stage 4 cancer ako, nung unang umiyak ako, ang iniyakan ko ang anak ko dahil hindi ko pa siya kayang iwan kahit may pamilya ko siya. Sa katagalan, kada dasal, natanggap kong lahat yan. Bahala ng Diyos sa akin. Lalaban ako. Hindi ako kailangan magmumulog sa bahay, hindi ako kailangan umiyak. Magsaya na lang ako, kaya kong magsaya. Kung iiyak ako ng iiyak, baka ma-depress lang ako nang ma-depress kung ano bang magawa ko. Ganun lang po ang ginagawa ko ngayon. Mabuhay ako sa araw-araw na gusto kong maging masaya. Ayokong tignan yung kabila na mamamatay ako. Lahat naman po tayo mamamatay. Kanya-kanyang panahon sa panahon gusto ng Diyos. Pananalig lang po sa Panginoon na hindi tayo pababayaan. Kung kukunin niya ako, ayoko lang po nang may masakit. Kung pwedeng matulog lang ako na wala ng gisingan. Para hindi pumasok sa pamilya para sa akin. Kasi sa pamilya ko, pang 12 po ako nagka-cancer. Ang father ko, kapatid niya, mga kapatid ko, mga pamangkin, halos cancer lahat ang kinamatay. Ang tatay ko, totoo, malakas manigarilyo ng kabataan namin. Kasi kami taga-bili ng sigarilyo niya. Ang husband ko, kinamatay ang pansima sa paninigarilyo din. Pero naitawid ko po yan. 7 buwan ako nag-alaga. 7 buwan ako nag-drive ng taxi sa umaga. Para may pang-suporta ako sa oxygen na 24 hours a day. Ngayon, wala naman po ako malalapitan ngayon. Kundi sarili ko. Gagawa ng paraan. Para makaraos ako. Kung hanggang doon na lang po ako. Pero wala na akong guguluhin sa pamilya. Di wala akong nakakalam sa mga kapatid ko, sa mga hindi na po ako nagkukwento. Anak ko lang po nakakaalam. Saka yung isang pamangkin ko. Hindi ko po sinasabi. Hindi ko pinasasakit na loob ko nila. Sakit na binigay ng Diyos sa akin. Sinamahala sa akin. Kaya tayong mga may cancer, mabuhay po tayo ng masaya. Mabuhay po tayo ng lumalaban. Huwag po natin dibdibin kung ano yung gusto ng Diyos sa atin. Gawin po natin. Makakaraos po tayo sa araw-araw na buhay natin. Huwag po kayong mawawala ng pag-asa. Pananampalataya, pananalig sa mga doktor, sa mga gamot na ibibigay sa atin, magtiwala po tayo. Gagaling po tayo. Kung kulang tayo ng pamili, madami naman pong nalalapitan ngayon ng mga libreng gamot, katulad ng sa Makati. Hindi man po yung mga mahal na gamot ang naibibigay sa amin, pero yung mga basic namin na gamot, hindi na namin bumibili. Iniisip ko yung problema ko lang yung every 21 days na 21 days, every 10 to 12,000 para sa kimo. Makakaraos po ako. Hindi na po ako nagbatisaw sa RES kasi nabalitaan ko rin po, marami nang hindi nakakatimo dahil wala daw kong gamot. Saka hindi ko kaya po yung sinasabi ng ongkod na magbabayad ako ng 10,000 every week. Pagparusa, ewan ko ano pang mga gamot na bili. Okay na po ako ngayon. Basta tayong mga may cancer, magtiwala tayo sa Diyos, magtiwala tayo sa mga doktor. Marami pong libreng doktor ngayon. Ang dami po natin malalapit ang doktor na libre. Hindi lang po sa OPD ng Makati. Hindi lamang po sa OSPAC. Meron po tayong CRES, meron po tayong PGA. Laban lang po tayo. Huwag tayong iiyak. Labanan natin ang cancer. Mahirap. Kaya po natin yan. 76 na po ako, pero lumalaban pa ako para sa mga apo ko. Yun lang po. Thank you po.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nelia Patage. We will now open the floor for questions from our participants. You may direct your questions to our panel by using the microphones on the floor, or if you are joining in via Zoom, you may raise your hand and we will acknowledge you. Once again, here is our moderator, Dr. Pauline Ann Peronilia Cotton, to moderate the open forum along with Dr. Christine Chavez and Dr. Soledad Balete.
Before we go into our question and answer portion, allow me to give our appreciation and thanks to Ms. Nelia for that, for her generosity, for sharing her story with us today. So can you give her another round of applause? Okay. And hello, Dr. Chavez. Nice to see
Good
that.
afternoon po.
Ay, good afternoon. Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, maraming salamat po sa pag-share ninyo ng experience.
Thank you. Thank you. So, this really is a special afternoon for us to have our guest speakers. If there are any questions, please raise your hand.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Fred Mendoza from the Manila Times. I'd like to ask lang po kay Dr. Chavez. Kay Dr. Chavez, yun nga, na-mention ko na po, nakita po natin yung experience ni Nanay Nelia na hindi siya nag-smoke, pero nagkaroon siya ng lung cancer. And I guess, marami din tayong mga Pilipino na na-experience din yung ganitong na-experience na hindi sila nag-smoke, wala silang bisyo, pero they're getting lung cancer. Ito po ba ay parang sabihin natin due to genetics na rin po ba? Or dahil ba sa mga kinakain ba natin? Or dahil sa lifestyle po ba natin? Kaya meron tayong mga nagkakaroon ng lung cancer pero hindi naman sila nag-smoke, hindi naman sila, or even kay second-hand smoke, hindi sila nagkakaroon ng second-hand smoke.
Salamat sa tanong na yun. Importante yung natanong ninyo na yan. Kasi nga, nakita sa mga, lalo na sa mga Asian women, meron ng mga porsyento ng pasyente na hindi naninigarilyo, hindi exposed sa second-hand smoke, pero nagkakaroon ng lung cancer. Yun yung mga pinag-aaralan pa ngayon. Yung mga nabanggit ko kanina ng mga criteria, base yun sa pinag-aralan sa mga pasyente sa US at saka sa Europe. So hindi siya based sa Asian population. Merong mga ongoing studies ngayon sa Asian population. Nakita doon na yung mga may certain age, mga age ng women na merong family member, merong kapamilya or nasa lahi yung nanay at tatay or mga kapatid merong cancer, screening nila. Nakita na nakaka-detect yung low-dose chest CT scan. Pero hindi, it remains to be seen kung yung low-dose chest CT scan doon nga sa portion ng mga pasyente na yon ay nakakabawas na ng taong namamatay from lung cancer. Kasi hindi din naman natin gusto kaliwat kanan maglo-low-dose chest CT scan. So yun yung pinag-aaralan pa kung pwedeng isama ba yung Asian ethnicity, woman, at saka non-smoker, at saka with the family history lang ng lung cancer. Yun yung pinag-aaralan pa kung meron. Yung mga ibang patients naman na, kasi diba, smoking yung pinaka-common na cause ng lung cancer. Pero yung nabanggit nga ni Dr. kanina, yung second-hand smoke exposure. Pagka palaging kasama isang taong naninigarilyo, good as smoker ka din. Pag exposed ka sa mga outdoor and indoor air pollution, kagaya ng mga sa labas, polluted ang air natin, o kaya pag sisiga, yun, pwede yun. Tsaka syempre yung predisposition din, yung nasa genes, nasa DNA, yung pagkakaroon ng lung cancer.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you. Kay Doc Valentes. Doc, yun nga, dami nga nating treatment options for lung cancer. I mean, we evolved from radiotherapy to surgery to chemotherapy, and now we are now into targeted treatment. Siguro, ang tanong lang siguro is, nag-evolve din ba ang presyo ng mga medical treatments po ba natin? Kasi I understand na po na whenever we go to a new treatment, it's always getting more expensive. I mean natin, medyo nagmamahal siya because it's a new technology, it's a new innovation lagi. So, how can Filipinos be able to experience the best cancer care na hindi naman nakabutas ng bulsa?
Sir, it's true that the medicines, especially they spend a lot in doing the research, and all the innovative agents, they are generally more expensive than the so-called the traditional, those which were discovered earlier. But our government, Department of Health, as some of you may know, has the so-called Cancer Supportive Palliative Medicine Access Program, basically covering the chemotherapy, which includes the chemotherapy for lung cancer. And the coverage has expanded. Before, it used to cover only for breast, but now it covers all indication. This is DOH, no? This is not a specific hospital alone. So specifically, especially for the DOH hospital. So there is a medicine access program. And in addition to that, because the Cancer Supporting Palliative Medicine Access Program needs augmentation or help, there is also another one which is called Cancer Assistance Program, Cancer Assistance Fund, which covers other cancer medicines that are not available in the CSP map or the Cancer Support Palliative Medicine Access Program. And not just the DOH programs that I mentioned, I believe, like the Philippine Cancer Society, other foundation, the other advocacies, they have programs that help the patient. So you have to be able, you have to ask the doctor who will guide you and tell you where you would seek help. And even the PCSO or the malasakit, DSWD, so like what Mommy said, if there's a will, there's a way. We have so many assistants going on. So we just have to take a step forward so that our patients or the patient can be helped despite the cost.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, Doctora. I think also from the story of Miss Nelia, no, there is an initial shock talaga when we get the diagnosis and they talk to us about the treatment. Paano ko gagawin yun? But as the shock sort of dies down little by little, we do get educated about the many ways that we can be helped in our treatment. So thank you for that. Are there any more questions from the floor? Yes.
Hello. Jean Mangalis po from INCURRED. This is for Dr. Chavez and Dr. Valente. May I just ask if there are any links between long COVID and lung cancer, because there are effects, because COVID attacks the lungs. So are there any links between the two diseases? Are there any treatment or between the treatments? Are there any ongoing studies about those two diseases?
Siguro from our pulmonologist first.
Yes, good afternoon po. It remains to be seen kasi kaka-umpisa pa lang ng COVID. Pero siguro, Ang tuberculosis kasi, there is such a thing as we call scar carcinoma. Hindi naman siya gano'n kadami, but merong ibang mga tuberculosis patients who had tuberculosis and had a scar. After many years, yung scar na yun, pinanggagalingan ng pwedeng nagiging cancer. Pero after many years pa yun. So, it remains to be seen kung meron ng, kasi di ba ang COVID, it causes scarring then of the lungs. So, hindi pa naman, pero yung scarring kasi sa COVID, hindi siya localized. Yung tinescribe ni Dr. LIABILITY kanina parang naka-flashlight. Hindi siya localized sa COVID. Maraming parts ng lungs yung affected. So more of ibang klaseng lung disease yung so far in the past, since 2020, ibang klaseng lung condition yung nakakos ng long COVID. But it remains to be seen kung merong areas ng scarring na yun na pwedeng panggalingan ng lung cancer.
From the oncologist point, there is no definite claim that you can say it is proven that there is association with lung cancer. So still very early in the game. Any other questions from the floor? Yes.
Good afternoon, mga doctors and sa mga doctors po natin. And my name is Jay Mande of Destination. Question lang po. Kasi usually po, na nakikita natin is on the treatment side, right? So, paano yung prevention para hindi makuha yung certain na disease? Paano natin i-promote? Paano natin i-advocate or i-educate yung bawat isa? Especially in the Philippines, na most of the Filipino people are smokers or they are inhaling polluted air. So paano natin, as a doctor, paano po ninyo i-educate o i-advocate yung kanilang para maiwasan itong certain type of disease. Yan lang po. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Chavez, how do you communicate with your patients about the prevention of lung cancer?
Maraming salamat sa tanong na yun. And also, dito, itong opportunity that we are having right now talking to you, we are grateful that you are here para you can help us spread the word. Siyempre, ang pinaka-maganda is prevention, di ba? So, if you are a smoker, siguro isipin din natin na hindi lang yung sarili natin yung pwede natin i-harm, but also the people around us, our family or our friends who are always exposed to us. Kasi kagaya ng nabanggit ni Ma'am Nelia kanina, ang gastos ng chemotherapy, ang gastos ng treatment for lung cancer. So, hindi lang siya financially burdensome. It can also be emotionally, physically, psychologically burdensome. So, ang sa akin, when I talk to my patients, I try as much as possible not to impose anything on them. Kasi mga adults naman yung mga pasyente natin, meron na yung mga sariling desisyon. So sa akin, importante na naiintindihan ng mga pasyente or ng tao kung ano yung mga risk factors ng lung cancer, paano niya mape-prevent. Ang kagandahan doon, kagaya ng pinakita kong slide kanina, yung lung cancer, pwede mo na siyang ma-detect early. Kung meron kang risk factors na ng mga nabanggit ko kanina, 50 to 74 years old, malakas manigarilyo, kung nag-quit ka, okay na yun, pero kung less than 10 years ka pang hindi nag-quit, pwede natin i-screen. Pero yun nga, in the future, sana aalamin natin kung pwede natin idagdag yung kung Asian ka, or meron kang family history ng lung cancer dun sa criteria na yun. Kasi pag na-detect mo yun early, at pag tinanggal mo yun, wala nang kakalat sa ibang parte ng katawan. So pag na-detect siya ng maaga at natanggal mo siya ng maaga, merong chance na magamot. Diba? So, yun. Importante lang is naiintindihan. Kaya na-appreciate namin yung mga tanong ninyo at magandang opportunity na nandito yung mga friends natin from the press, and yun, if we can, thank you for helping us spread this advocacy. Smoking is the #1 cause of lung cancer. Tapos yung mga indoor-outdoor air pollution. At tapos yung vaping and other forms of alternatives to smoking, hindi rin siya safer options. Kasi hindi siya yung laman ng vaping or other options na market, merong mga ibang laman yon na chemicals. Ang laman nun kasi usually yung ginagamit pang embalsa mo. Oo. So, yun, pwede mag-cause yun ng lung cancer. So, basically, making the patients, their family, and friends understand kung ano yung risk factors at ano yung mga risk factors na pwedeng ma-modify at mabawasan. Sana nasagot kayo.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Chavez. We have another question?
Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Cruz of Tuklasin Natin, and this is Excel ang ating curriculum episode. Okay. Among the 5 pillars of cancer treatment, what is the cheapest, most effective treatment and most recommended by pulmonologists or oncologists?
Siguro we'll give this to Dr. Valete.
The question is somehow difficult to answer because now, aside from the one I mentioned, if we can employ surgery, surgery goes first, and after checking the specimen, there is a need to give chemotherapy or radiotherapy. We talk with the patient, call the specialist, and advise the patient surgery plus like this, or something we add on. Now, aside from that, we also test the specimen because nowadays we practice precision medicine. We do not just give targeted, blinded. We have to test the specimen if there's a target. So, there are so many things that we have to do, like testing the specimen, checking it, like what Mommy said, her GFR was negative. If it is negative, she is candidate for chemotherapy. So it's not just a comparison, but it's like wearing the proper costume or proper clothing that would fit the patient. So it's tailor fit and precise.
Thank you. I think when we say options for treatment, hindi po ibig sabihin na I will choose option 1, 2, or 3. No? It's not one size fits all. It's determining what is best for that stage and whatever other characteristics are present. No? So I will go back to one of Dr. Balete's slides, which is the picture of the multidisciplinary team. It's a team of doctors trying to decide which course will be best for each patient. No problem. Any other questions? Yes.
Good afternoon po, Larissa from Manila Society. Question ko lang po, besides financial, problema natin, emotionally and psychologically affected din po yung mga patients. Do we have a support group, that could help us parang guide them with regards din, kasama na rin po pati kung saan pwedeng lumapit, mga financial institutions? Do we have an existing group for lung cancer patients?
Perhaps Dr. Balete and maybe Ms. Nadia after.
Kasi ako lumalapit ako dahil sa Philippine Cancer Society. Like dun sa QuadMed, nakiusap ako doon. para doon ako magpatimo na hindi masyadong mahal. Mga kaibigan na walang sawang tumutulong sa akin sa ngayon. Nagbibigay ng lakas ng loob, nagdadasal, lahat. Yung paghingi ng tulong, kung marami kang kaibigan na madaling lapitan, na hindi sisinuhin kung ano yung hinihingi mo, wag lang malalaking halaga, marami pong tutulong sa atin. Totoo yun, ang pagpapagamot ng cancer talagang naging kalbaryo sa akin nung unang malaman ko yun. Hindi ko alam saan kung kamay ng Diyos kukunin ang pera. Ang tagal bago ko nakapagpakimo. Dahil naghahanap ako talaga ng taong tutulong sa akin o ng kumpanya na tutulong. Hindi ako pwedeng lumapit sa DOH. Sila nagsasabi na wala silang gamot. Gamot lang ang hinihingi ko, hindi ako hinihingi ng pinansyal. Wala daw silang ganito. Meron naman isang doktor, inilalapit ako sa medrep, hindi ko naman kayang bayaran yung 20,000. Saan ko naman kamay ng Diyos kukunin ng 20,000 piso every 21 days? Ang isang ospital na hindi ko nasasabihin ng pangalan, ang pinakamurang maibibigay nila sa akin na chemo is 77,000 per session. Mamamatay na lang ako, makadalat ang matay. Sana po yung mga pharmaceutical, maawa kayo sa aming mahirap na magbigay naman kayo ng libre. O hindi man libre, malaking discount, hindi po ba? Kasi katulad po namin, katulad sila nananapitan ko ang Philippine Cancer Society. Bata pa ako, unang na-diagnose ng cancer ang kapatid ko. Nagpapacheck up na ako nung may clinic pa ang cancer sa Philippine Cancer Society. Kaya alam kong silang pwede kong lapitan. Nung una nasisiraan ako yung dahil akala ko wala na. Buti merong Qualimed na tumulong sa akin. Mahirap pong bunuin. Lahat ng herbal tinikman ko. Bumili ako ng herbal na panggamot ng every 10 days is parang 13,000. Pinikit ko yung mata ko. Doon sa Antipolo. Hindi ko malunok kung ano lasa ng mga gamot. Tinapong ko din. So sabi ng anak ko, ma, magloloon na lang ako sa opisina. Umalis ka na dyan. Tigil mo na yan, sabi niya. Kasi yung 10 days ko, nakaka 8 days pa lamang ako na nag-herbal. Bumaba na ng bumaba ang timbang ko. Mas lalo akong natakot kasi hindi ka pwedeng kumain ng kanin. Hindi ka pwedeng kumain ng ulam. Puro lang yung mga dahon-dahon na binibigay o yung mga tableta na hindi ko maintindihan kung ano mga tableta yan. Mga iniinom na mga hindi ko talaga alam, hindi ko maintindihan. Sa loob ng 8 araw, na 100, dati ako 180 pounds. Naging 154 ako, hindi na ako halos makatayo. Kaya tinigil ko po yan. Nagbalik ako sa doktor. Pero sana nga matulungan tayo ng mga pharmaceutical. Huwag naman masyado kung mahal ang mga gamot.
Thank you, Ms. Nelia. Dr. Valete, any places that you point your patients to for emotional and other forms of support?
Within a certain treatment facility, normally there is a support group. But you have to take the step to ask the doctor about existing support group of that institution. And these are patients of the institution that form a group so that those who finish the treatment will support the other ones who are new, or ongoing treatment, they support the ones who are new. And also, as you can see in the multidisciplinary a while ago, there is the so-called palliative medicine and palliative and supportive care medicine, wherein these specialists are being told to give the necessary psychosocial, emotional, mental, these things support to the patient. So these are normally they are really called in, especially when the patient has a very poor family support. Kasi among the support that you mentioned, family support is also very important. So there are those patients wherein family support is not that good. So they really need external support. As what Mommy mentioned a while ago, di ba? You said na your family is supportive. So that's a big boost to her so much than those without family support.
Everyone goes through cancer, not just the patient, the family as well. We'll have our last question. Yes, Papa.
Doctor, after a patient has had COVID, how often does he or she have to have her lungs checked, and how often does he have to do that?
Dr. Chavez?
I think it varies on the severity of the COVID and the symptoms of the patients. Kagaya ng cancer treatment, walang one size fits all. Depende sa nararamdaman ng pasyente, sa severity ng damage sa lungs po. Kung ano po yung mga tests na gagawin and how often.
So best to consult regularly with your attending pulmonologist or internist, yes? Yeah, so much sense. I think we are winding down, but we can entertain one more question.
Okay. Another question, perhaps this is the last. What can you say about the use of natural or alternative medicine, or the so-called herbal medicine plants to cure lung cancer? Is there any?
Yes, that was a question I was waiting for.
I'm asking as medical oncologist, Dr. Soledad Bolet.
Yes. Doctor, if I may add, you mentioned also, in line with that question, some might confuse also what immunotherapy means, right? Because a lot of herbal institutions also say that they are just boosting the immune system, and then they equate it with immunotherapy, sometimes even infusing high-dose vitamin C. So maybe how do you communicate with your patients about questions such as this?
Dr. Cowton is also a medical oncologist, so I'm happy that she's here to add up. So the difference in this medicine is that if you recall the COVID time, I remember when my uncle got COVID around May of 2020, we thought he's going to not going to make it. Kasi at that time, all the options are not proven. So the very big difference of this, such as immunotherapy or those targeted, these agents, before they can be allowed to use, they have to undergo studies and research. So they are not just saying word of mouth, take this, because we're after the safety and the efficacy. And in order to prove the safety and efficacy, remember we're dealing with human lives. What if we're taking it, something happened? So these medications that we're using are not allowed to be used unless they have been studied well. The what we call the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. No? So it's not just basta you use it. So if we say this is allowed, it has already undergone series or phases of research. So for the safety, efficacy, effectiveness of the medication, so that you can see the result.
Thank you. So I think that has been a full afternoon for all of us. Thank you to everyone, Dr. Chavez, Dr. Valete, and Ms. Nelia, for being so generous with your time and your knowledge with us this afternoon. Thank you also to our partners with us today. We hope that you have more confidence in spreading the word and awareness about lung cancer. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pauline and Veronelia Carlton, Dr. Christine Chavez, Dr. Soledad Palete, and Ms. Nelia Patage for your insightful sharing. And of course, thank you to the Philippine Cancer Society Director, Dr. Rachel Rosario, for gracing this event. On behalf of AstraZeneca Philippines and partnership with the Philippine Society of Medical Oncology, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking part in the Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Let's take the plunge. Together, let us spread better awareness of lung cancer, its prevention, and proper intervention. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and stay safe. Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. To the owner of the vehicle with plate number NGI8172, your parking pass is at the concierge. Once again, to the owner of the vehicle with a plate number NGI8172, your parking pass is at the concierge. Thank you.
Sa ating palatuntunan, ibigay muna natin ang ulat panahon na ihahatid sa atin ng weather forecaster ng Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services ng Department of Science and Technology o DOST Pag-asa. Panoorin po natin.
Magandang hapon. Alamin naman natin ang magiging lagay ng panahon ngayong araw ng Martes, November 29, 2022. Sa kasalukuyan ay itong Intertropical Convergence Zone o ITCZ ay nakakaapekto dito sa may Mindanao at dahil nga dito sa ITCZ, dito sa may Leyte Provinces, Caraga, pati na rin sa Davao Region, makakaranas ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan, pagkidlat at pagkulog. Para naman dito sa Metro Manila at sa nalalabing bahagi ng ating bansa, inaasahan po natin magpapatuloy itong magandang panahon kung saan inaasahan natin itong bahagyang maulap hanggang sa maulap na kalangitan na may mga isolated rain showers or thunderstorm lamang. Sa kasalukuyan ay wala naman tayong minomonitor na low pressure area or bagyo na nasa loob or malapit sa ating Philippine Area of Responsibility at wala rin naman tayong inaasahan na madedevelop na bagyo in the next 24 hours. Para naman sa lagay ng panahon bukas, dito sa Metro Manila at nalalabing bahagi ng Luzon, inaasahan natin na magpapatuloy pa rin itong magandang panahon, partly cloudy to cloudy skies, may mga isolated rain showers or thunderstorm ang ating inaasahan. Agwat ang temperatura para dito sa Metro Manila maglalaro from 23 to 34 degrees Celsius. Dito naman sa Legazpi at Puerto Princesa, naasahan natin maglalaro ang temperatura from 26 to 32 degrees Celsius. Samantalang dito sa Tagaytay, maglalaro from 22 to 29 degrees Celsius at dito naman sa Bay Baguio ay 16 to 25 degrees Celsius. Para naman sa lagay ng panahon bukas, inaasahan natin dito sa may Mindanao area, pati na rin dito sa may Eastern at Central Visayas, magiging maulap yung kalangitan natin dyan na may mga scattered rain showers and thunderstorm. Dahil pa rin yan sa ating ITCZ. Samantalang sa nalalabing bahagi naman dito sa Kabisayaan, inaasahan natin na magiging maganda pa rin yung ating panahon, maliban na nga lang sa mga isolated rain showers or thunderstorm. Agwat ang temperatura para dito sa may Zamboanga at Davao maglalaro from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. At agwat naman ng temperatura para dito sa Cebu ay from 27 to 31 degrees Celsius naman. Sa kasalukuyan, wala din tayong nakataas na gale warning sa kahit na anong baybayin ng ating bansa, kaya malaya pa rin mga kapamalaot ang ating mga kababayang mangingisda, pati na rin yung may mga maliliit na sasakyang pandagat. Para naman sa 3-day weather outlook ng mga pangunahing lungsod sa ating bansa dito sa Metro Manila, sa susunod na 3 araw, inaasahan pa rin natin na magpapatuloy itong magandang panahon na may mga isolated rain showers or thunderstorm lamang. Agwat ang temperatura dito sa Metro Manila from Thursday to Saturday maglalaro from 22 to 33 degrees Celsius. Samantalang dito sa Baguio, from Thursday to Saturday, naasahan natin yung magiging panahon dyan ay partly cloudy to cloudy skies na may mga pag-ulan or mahinang pag-ulan at or mga ambon naman. Para dito sa Legazpi City naman, from Thursday to Friday, naasahan natin na magiging maulap din yung kalangitan na may mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat from Thursday to Friday. Pero pagdating naman ng Saturday, gaganda na po yung panahon natin dyan. Agwat ang temperatura dito sa Legazpi City, maglalaro from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius sa susunod na 3 araw. Para naman dito sa Metro Cebu from Thursday to Friday, naasahan naman natin magiging maulan dyan dahil nga sa ating intertropical convergence zone, magiging maulan na may mga thunderstorm at scattered rain showers. Pero pagdating naman ng Saturday, gaganda naman na po yung panahon natin dito sa may Metro Cebu. Agwat ang temperatura maglalaro from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius at dito sa Metro Davao by Thursday, naasahan natin na magiging maulan pa po dito dahil nga sa ITCZ. Pero pagdating naman ng Biyernes hanggang Sabado, magiging maganda na po yung panahon dito sa may Metro Davao. Agwat ang temperatura maglalaro from 24 to 33 degrees Celsius. Ang araw ay lulubog mamayang 5:25 ng hapon at sisikat naman bukas at 6:05 a.m. Para naman sa latest update sa ating lagay ng panahon, i-follow at i-like ang aming Twitter at Facebook page at DOST_Pag-asa, mag-subscribe sa aming YouTube channel, DOST-Pag-asa Weather Report at bisitahin ang aming website, bagong.pag-asa.dost.gov.ph. Yan naman ang pinakahuli sa lagay ng ating panahon. Ako po si Veronica Torres from Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center, nag-uulat.
Inyo pong napanood ang ulat panahon na inihatid sa atin ng weather forecaster ng DOST Pag-asa. Samantala, panoorin po muna ninyo ang ilang kuntil-butil na paalaala, mensahe at tagapagtaguyod ng palatuntunang ito. Please stay tuned.
At UPC Ball, we believe in giving the care that Filipinos deserve. Care that extends through different sectors. Care that is thoughtfully designed. Care that is not just affordable, but also accessible for many. Through collaboration, we have created the following medical devices to be able to deliver this care. The Sanipod is a no-contact self-contained disinfection cubicle that healthcare workers can use after they exit COVID wards. It allows them to safely remove their personal protective equipment, or PPE, without risk of contamination. It uses an innovative fogging system that disinfects the user. In addition, the SaniPod is equipped with UV irradiation that disinfects the pod for the next user. Clean Intubate is a disinfecting device, specifically for laryngoscope blades used for intubation. This device reduces the risk of viral transmission to healthcare personnel. UP-Cbol PAPR is a device that protects its user from contaminants in the air. As a respirator, it comes with a battery-operated blower that provides the user with clean air in a tight-fitting respirator, a loose-fitting hood, or a helmet. The UP-Cbol face mask is designed to address both the need to preserve public health as well as prevent generation of infectious solid waste in a time of crisis like the COVID-19 pandemic. This face mask uses breathable nanofiber material that can withstand disinfection procedures for more than 30 times or equivalent to 30 days. The reusable Cbol face mask has biodegradable filter materials that can naturally degrade in the environment after disposal. My Beshi, a telepresence robot designed to connect patients in isolation with healthcare workers, loved ones, clergies, and others. Without the need for internet connection, the telepresence robot delivers clear video communication that supports efficient and emphatic delivery of healthcare. The RxBox telemetry system is a biomedical device that allows healthcare workers, specifically nurses, to remotely monitor vital signs of patients in COVID wards through a monitoring dashboard. It uses the existing RxBox device with a newly developed telemetry software application called Lifeline. The Echo On-Site device allows off-site experts to view actual images in real time, addressing the gap in limited bedside guidance brought about by the pandemic. Prone Pillow Plus, a supportive pillow designed for pregnant and obese women in acute respiratory failure that need to be placed in prone position. It allows comfortable and safe prone positioning and monitoring of fetal heart tones and uterine contractions. At UP-Cbol, science fuels our creations, while care and compassion power us forward. We invite you to join us. Let's all work together for a better equipped, better prepared, better than ever Philippines.